Hey, it's Debbie Potts. In today's episode, I'm going to give some tips how you can improve your performance in your future races. So instead of doing the same program over and over again, expecting different results, let's stop, push pause, and reset the whole you. Let's start by testing and not guessing. What are your areas of opportunity to work on this off season?
Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey. Are you an aging athlete? Are you over 40 and struggling to get your desired results? I understand your frustrations. If you're like me, you're trying to get your running back or your cycling back or whatever sport you love to do, and you just can't figure out what's missing in your performance gains. How is your training and fueling program working for you? That's what I do. I personalize your nutrition and health program for you based on a bunch of different things. We collect data, collect clues from nutritional therapy assessment, from a food log with symptoms. Look at your genetics. If you've done something as DNA Fit, look at blood chemistry panels. Let's look at functional lab tests as a Vibrant Wellness wheat zoomer to test if you have leaky gut and sensitivity to wheat, peptides in foods. Look at food sensitivity labs and Dutch tests. Look at your hormones. So we look at all these hidden internal sources of chronic stress that may be impacting your ability to burn fat, improve performance, and longevity. So if you want to talk about how we can personalize your fueling, training, and performance plan, let me know. Set up a discovery call. Head to my website, debbiepotts.net, and reach out. Set up a call and we can chat about how I can help you be the best version of yourself. So you can stop blaming the aging process and instead change your mindset that you're embracing the change, that we train differently in our 40s and up versus what you did when you're 20, 30-year-old. We need to adjust how we eat, when we eat, why and how, but also match our nutrition with our exercise program and add some more health building lifestyle habits into our day. I call this all the holistic method comprehensive coaching program, where I work on individualizing clients' nutrition, exercise, stress reduction, sleep, movement, time outside, digestion and gut health, hydration, and my favorite, happiness, play, and laughter. So if you want to know more how you can be your best self, live your best life, and perform your best, head to debbiepotts.net, schedule a discovery call with me, and we can get started on your new health building journey. You can be that amazing athlete and stop blaming the aging process. All right, guys, it's Debbie Potts, and today this is another solo episode where I dive into different topics that I feel are hot in social media and areas around athletic performance, how to fuel, train, and perform your best as an endurance athlete, but also we're all getting a little older, aging athlete. I am on a mission to slow down or reverse, improve the aging process. And as I'm entering in my second half of my life, my goal is to make it better than the first half of my life. And my purpose right now is to share what I'm learning with you to help you recreate yourself right now in order for you to create who you want to be as your future self. So if you've ever looked at Dr. Ben Hardy, he has this great program on how to create your future self. And it's free, 30-day program. A friend told me a few years ago, and it really made me think about how we can create our future life. and write out who you want to be, your future self. So I think it helps get some clarity as we are athletes looking at ways we can improve our performance in our races next year. But I would suggest this off season, hopefully you have an off season. That was a big problem. I didn't have an off season. I would go from triathlon season, finishing with Ironman Hawaii, and then do off season fun races as a 50K trail run in San Francisco, the North Face one in December. And I always would do half marathon on Thanksgiving, and January do Carlsbad half or full marathon with clients. And then it was time to start training for Hanu half Ironman or Lava Mans in March and do different races. So you end up racing all year long. That's not good. My goal is to help you learn how to train and reset and reboot in the off season. It should be a different training program than you would in season, right? We should have periodization in our programming and not do the same workout every quarter. So we want to have blocks, training blocks. Part of what I would think it would be beneficial for everyone to do is look at this 30-day futureself.com, free access to this Future Self program from Benjamin Hardy. It talks about your future self is more important than your present self. Pretty amazing. And I think if you check out this program, it is just something to do for 30 days and work on how you can create who you want to be when you're 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. Now, I know a lot of athletes, I just talked to one this morning at the gym, does triathlons, and I was saying how, I'm a retired triathlete. I used to do Ironmans from, starting back in 2001. And actually I started doing sprint triathlons in 1995, doing Danskin and local small races. Got into long stuff in 2001. Now, if you're one of those people that if you say you're retired or you say what a lot of people I talk to say, I think I'm retired, but then I just think I'll do this one more race, one more triathlon. And they just can't stop. And so I'm always curious about what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you keep doing marathons, triathlons, endurance events, whatever your sport is? Maybe you love what to do, but maybe there's other reasons that you're running from something, that you are alone and you don't know what else to do with your time but train for another race. That's your purpose, is in how you fill your days up when you're not working, or maybe family obligations. But I think a lot of people might have addiction to busyness, or always that high we get from exercise, being in the outdoors. So really take time out this off season to improve your performance next year in life and sports, and who you want to be when you're older, when you grow up. Who do you want to be when you're 80, 90? And what do you want to look like? What do you want to be doing? I think doing this free 30-day course that Benjamin Hardy offers is a great place to start. And then my next suggestion is saving money so you can do a program as I offer, not selling myself, but I'm a big believer. Obviously, I have to believe in what I do because I've continued my education in becoming a health wellness practitioner, functional medicine area of health coaching. I'm a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, which we say FDN practitioner, and a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. So kind of trying to figure out what do I call myself when I introduce myself? I am a personal trainer. I am a triathlon coach, a run coach. I do functional lab testing. I'm a health investigator. I do Pinoy metabolic testing. So I don't know, functional wellness, health practitioner. I'm trying to describe who I am because I've been writing out, what is my purpose? What do I love to do? How am I trying to help athletes similar to myself that are high performers, motivated to get results? Because I find when I do discovery calls, I'm not good at selling myself. I'm not good at marketing, but I do love to help my clients get results. But you need to be motivated and want to get better. You kind of almost need to be feeling like crap and you've tried everything and nothing works. And then people come to me that I am exercising, I'm training for these races. I still have X, Y, and Z symptoms. I still am overweight. I cannot lose this fat and I cannot get faster. I'm trying to do all the right things, but I'm not getting anywhere. So I became an FDN health coach practitioner so I can order functional lab testing. I became a metabolic efficiency practitioner expert so I can run metabolic tests on clients to figure out where you are at rest with your metabolism, with your macros and your breathing. How efficient are you? And at various intensities, looking at what is your limiter, where do we need to work on, identify what you're doing a lot of, that's great, and then what's being neglected, and find that balance. Homeostasis and everything, that Goldilocks effect. Not too much of this, not too much of that, but this is the right amount you need based on our testing. Look at the functional lab testing we'll talk about today. Look at a PNOE metabolic testing assessment near you, or come to see me. Do a nutritional therapy assessment. I love the reports you get from the DNA company. It's excellent portal and really nicely done reports. It's precision medicine and looking at really how to personalize your program, tailor it to your needs, area of opportunity for you as an aging athlete. If you're trying to improve your performance and your life every day so you feel great, you're thriving, you're energetic, you're sleeping well, you're eating good, clean food, and you're proper digestion, you don't have any gut issues. That's our goal, I think, to feel our best, to live our best life, to be our best selves. So if you're not thriving every day, why are we doing what we're doing? Why don't we stop, pause, and reset? Start a little savings account if you can't afford the lab testing, does cost a lot, and get an assessment. So the labs I like to do, I was putting together, I order them through a new program called rupahealth.com, where you order them through a practitioner as myself. But we look at, say, a GI map test, a comprehensive stool analysis test. This is a great test to look at, do you have any autoimmune issues? Do you have irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, digestive complaints, diarrhea, bloating, constipation? Do you have brain fog? Skin problems as acne and psoriasis, mood disorders, depression, anxiety. We can get a lot of that information from multiple tests. And what sets us apart as health investigators, as FDN practitioners and nutritional therapy practitioners, compared to a lot of the naturopaths I meet with, we're not, and doctors, of course, we're not treating the results. We're not saying, okay, you have low this or high this, take this for that. We want to take that information and correlate it to your blood chemistry panel, to your Dutch hormone panel, looking at your metabolites, look at how you feel, look at your nutritional therapy assessment, and then look at your training. Look at your nutrition plan you're following each day. Look at your sleep hygiene routine. Look at how you deal with stress every day. What does your ideal day look like? What does your week look like? Your weekends. Let's personalize the program. So doing a GI map is helpful. Another test I like to do is, of course, the Dutch test we talk a lot about, but let's look at the Dutch test is really talked about a lot. You'll hear online. That is the Dutch complete test I like. That is a beneficial test. And that is just peeing and letting on a piece of paper, dip in the paper into your urine in a cup, and then let that paper dry. But that's going to tell us a lot of information as well for your hormones that a blood test doesn't tell you. We don't see estrogen on the blood test the same way we see estrogen as metabolites, how they are metabolized in your body. And so we get great information, Dutch tests for hormones, for your cortisol, melatonin rhythm throughout the day. So it's 5 measurements throughout the day. So we get cortisol in the morning, night, and it's really raining in my glass house. So it's loud in here. So DHEAS, creatinine, and all these other markers. Whoop. Let's pause for the rain delay here. Hold on. All right, so let's dive into how you can improve the aging process. As an endurance athlete, we put a lot of stress on our body, and most of us are training and racing nonstop all year long on top of our already busy, stressful life. So if you have not already read my book, it's on Amazon. It's called Life is Not a Race, It is a Journey. My goal writing that book was to share my struggles, what happened to me from becoming a high performer, top age group triathlete, marathoner, cyclist, and went to feeling just exhausted, gained 30 pounds of weight, fat weight, I swear, overnight, and stopped being able to train and started having naps instead. That was in 2013. Fast forward 10 years, and I still struggle with running and can't get my speed where I was. Now, do I blame the aging process? No. I need to adjust how we train and also investigate why my body is not functioning at optimal level. Get rid of age as an excuse. So we need to stop blaming the aging process, embrace how we feel and train and perform. But a lot of times, if you're like me, if you're burned out and broken and have a lot of crazy symptoms, unexplained weight gain, the chronic fatigue, sleep disruption, gut issues, you might want to dive in a little deeper and investigate what is actually going on from the inside out. I became the person, the coach, the practitioner that I was looking for when I was struggling for years. When I started to feel awful around March 2013, I went to 8+ different doctors, naturopaths, functional medicine specialists, people that were trained in chronic fatigue, adrenal exhaustion. I did all the lab tests and tried all the supplements that different people gave me, but it doesn't always work if you don't change how you approach life every day, how you show up, how you start and end your day, how you train and recover. If we don't change our lifestyle habits, our fueling and training habits, the functional lab test results and supplements people give you is not going to be as effective. It's the whole package. And that's why I created 10 years ago the holistic method, that we need to look at the whole person from the inside out. We need to invest in functional lab testings. No, they're not covered by insurance. Doctors just do simple tests and then they treat the results, giving diagnosis, but not looking at why is that happening. We want to look at more of a root cause approach and look at the whole person and not treat the lab results that, oh, you have low B vitamin, take B12 shots. You have high this, you need to take this for that. We still want to look at why is this happening? And it's an in-depth investigation in an ongoing program, which is why my coaching process is a 6-month program or longer, because it's going to take time. We can't just get instant results as I was looking for when I was struggling by taking these supplements, take some DHEA, take this, take that, and let's do this anti-parasite protocol. Well, things are going to keep happening because you have to fix why is it happening. If you do an anti-parasite protocol, 90 days, great. But if you continue to break down your body system with how you are fueling and not fueling, fasting too much, eating too little, not enough right fuel for the type of workouts you're doing, burning the candle at both ends, you're not prioritizing a sleep hygiene routine, you're not creating a morning routine, you're not creating playtime, laughter, gratitude, it is so essential to really get results that we work on all of us. And it's not easy. That's why I find a lot of people just want a quick fix, take a supplement, think they're going to get all better. It doesn't work that way. Trust me. I've just spent 10 years of my life reinventing myself, taking different courses, trying to be the person, the coach, the practitioner that I needed to be. So now I'm trying to focus how I can help the high performer individual, how I can help coach up my fellow aging athletes, because what we used to do doesn't always work. So if you're struggling with gaining fat weight and your body composition is changing, even though you are training, you are eating this program, this diet, this intermittent fasting program, it's not always going to work for you the same way it does for someone else. Men are different than women. Women are not all the same. We're all different. So we want to personalize it. Precision medicine, Wild Health talks about. We want to look at your genetics, your functional lab tests, your lifestyle, your exercise routine, and look at your nutrition programming. And we want to change it. We don't want to do the same thing all the time. Variations are really important. So I have been doing this for 30 years as a coach. I started personal training and health and nutrition in college. I ran the fitness center on our college campus for Resident Hall. What was it called? Ridgeway Fitness and Wellness Center. Then after college, I worked at a YMCA right out of college as fitness membership director and was personal training and teaching aerobics. And then I was working at the Bellevue Club forever, teaching classes. I ran all the programs. I was assistant fitness director. I created Fit Life 6-week programs, and I did the metabolic testing that we did New Leaf. And then I opened my own gym up. In 2008, I left to work on my own. Then I opened my own studio, 2009, 2010, till 2019, Fitness Forward Studio. And there I was offering health coaching challenges, the 21-day sugar detox, and nutritional therapy testing I started doing, and added in sauna, and had an acupuncturist, massage therapist in there, did biohacking health fairs and body fat breath analysis testing to see if you're burning fat or not. We did all this stuff kind of early on. But what was I missing was doing the functional lab testing. You really need to save money to do the functional lab testing, as I started to talk about before my rainstorm happened up here, doing the lab testing. So say a Dutch test. Say we can do $300. The GI map, I just had on here, what does that say? GI map was $300. Or $393 with gluten peptide add-on and zonulin if we want to check your gut health and gluten sensitivity. Then maybe we want to look at doing a micronutrient test or organic acids test. We just want to get 3 to 5 functional lab tests, one of them blood chemistry panel, and look at the whole picture. Correlate the results together, and we see patterns. So really important things I want to dive into today. I have pulled open the thyroid, looking at thyroid health, looking at the Dutch test. We want to see patterns, not just treat the results, because I know doctors are doing that, functional medicine experts still do that, naturopaths, as I said. You want to look at all of it together. So Dutch test for hormone metabolites. A GI map or Genova Diagnostics is a 3-day stools test. Gut bacteria, overgrowth, parasites, digestive markers. Wheat zoomer I like to do is a gut health, leaky gut reaction to the parts of wheat, endotoxicity, LPS. And then a food zoomer is beneficial. Organic acids test, look at mold toxicity, mitochondria function, and so much more. So we want to take a new approach to thriving as we age. As we journey through life, we're often having different obstacles, different struggles, and different areas that we're doing well and that we enjoy. But we want to look at what do we need to do to recreate. So I just had this aha this week. We want to recreate ourselves now to create who we want to be in our next 10, 20, 30 years. create that future self today, getting the right tools, collecting that data, and not guessing. So we want to test and not guess. And a lot of this has changed since I lost my dad last summer. I realized, he was never the athlete, but the medical system failed us and doesn't really help improve people's health. They just give prescription drugs, at least with my dad, and I see their friends, same thing, and not really looking at choices to improve how his body works. Liver congestion. Are we getting the drainage pathways open? How is his liver detoxifying all these medications the body is taking? And how are we doing with alcohol consumption, sleep? So doctors are needed, but we also need an integrated approach to work, to collaborate together, to help people have better outcomes. So when we have this, not living the best life as family members might do, and our doctors are not communicating and not giving us good results, we want to look at what we can do as individuals to take ownership of our health. And that's why I really believe in these functional lab tests when you are not getting the desired results, or if you want to be a health optimizer and see, okay, what do I need to do? Look at that genetic report, look at your gut health, look at your food sensitivities. Are you putting fuel to the fire? So I have been doing this for years. I've been in the industry for, 30 years now in a health and fitness practitioner role and a coach. So we want to look at, do you have leaky gut? Leaky gut occurs when there is damage to the lining of the intestinal tract, making it more permeable to substances that should not cross this delicate lining, 1 cell thick lining that we have. So we want to assess, what are you doing now with the nutritional therapy assessment? Look at a food and mood log, look at the lab test results, look at a full blood chemistry test, and then put it together what you can do this off season, and not say, oh, I'm getting slower, I'm getting fatter, I'm feeling inflamed, I'm not sleeping well because I'm getting older, my hormones are off. No, we just need to change a few things, tweak and adjust, and then course correct, and keep making adjustments and experimenting. It's an ongoing journey. So that's what I'm doing, comprehensive coaching, looking at the health investigation part of it, and ideally metabolic testing to go with it. So organic acids test is great for mitochondrial function, neurotransmitter metabolism, oxidative stress, looking at your detox pathways, nutrient deficiencies, gut health, bacteria overgrowth, ketone and fatty acid metabolism, mitochondria dysfunction, and markers of specific metabolic disorders. So that's an organic acids test. Now, I went over briefly the GI map, but that's looking at your microbiome composition, parasites, viruses, fungal and yeast infection. A lot of people have candida overgrowth, but there's a reason why. What's going on up north, starting in the brain, starting in digestion in your mouth, what's happening that bad guys are getting past our barriers of entry as our stomach. Is your stomach not acidic enough to kill off the bad guys? Are you eating too much bad stuff? Sugar, refined flours, inflammatory foods. What's causing irritation to your gut? Do you have H. pylori? So we want to look at your inflammatory markers. We want to measure your immune function. We can see that on a gut test. Digestive enzymes. If you have pancreatic elastase, tells us about your need for dietary fat support to digest your fats. We want to look at calprotectin as a marker of inflammation that can be elevated in conditions as inflammatory bowel disease, IBD. And then zonulin. Zonulin is an indication of leaky gut, intestinal permeability, which is associated with various GI and systemic health issues. So if you have leaky gut, you're also going to have a wide variety of food sensitivities because that good food that you're eating leaked through the gut wall lining, mal-digested, so not broken up into pieces. And now your immune system has tagged it as an enemy. So this otherwise known as a healthy food, is not healthy for you. It's causing more inflammation. So we want to see what's going on under the hood, revealing imbalances and areas of opportunity by running these labs. So that's GIMAP. I also like the Wheat Zoomer by Vibrant America. Remember, 6 foods that your body thinks are gluten are dairy, corn, millet, oats, rice, and yeast. So if you are like me and have a wheat sensitivity and gluten sensitivity, you might not know. Like, I don't feel bloated and have huge red flags when I have wheat, but when I did this test, I am off the charts reactive to wheat. That, to me, freaks me out for my future self looking at brain health, because I get a headache when I have certain foods. So leaky gut, leaky brain. Leaky brain means to me brain issues as brain fog, memory, focus, but also Alzheimer's, dementia, type 3 diabetes. So wheat sensitivity, we can tell in the Wheat Zoomer. We can identify individuals who have sensitivities or allergens to wheat protein as gluten. Gluten sensitivity can be determined if you are sensitive, obviously, to gluten, which is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. And this is useful in diagnosing non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which is what I have, non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And then the Wheat Zoomer, I had actually 2 clients this year had celiac disease. And when did he know it? We found out through this test in her investigation of various labs all together. We found out she has celiac disease. Crazy. Celiac disease on this test can help see if you have autoimmune disorder triggered by the ingestion of gluten. So your body attacks itself when you have autoimmune disorder. Also, the Wheat Zoomer can test any other types of autoimmune responses to wheat and gluten associated with conditions, as we talked about, celiac disease, but also dermatitis, skin issues. The Wheat Zoomer also can look at leaky gut, which, as I said, the condition in which the gut lining becomes more porous, so potentially allowing harmful substances to enter the bloodstream. And then we have gluten-related enzyme markers. The test measures antibodies against various enzymes associated with gluten metabolism, providing information about the body's immune response to these enzymes. We've got wheat and gluten-related peptides. This can detect the presence of specific wheat and gluten peptides to indicate exposure to these items, recently IgG, and longer exposures IgA, systemic IgGs in the gut. And then zonulin, you'll hear about, that's an indicator of leaky gut, because zonulin is a protein linked to the regulation of tight junctions in the gut wall lining. So if it is present, it will show that we have some damage to the gut wall lining. Transglutamase antibodies. This is an enzyme involved in the pathogenesis of celiac disease. So this is another measure of these antibodies. And then we have gliadin, and that's the component of gluten. And the antibodies against gliadin can be indicative of, obviously, a gluten sensitivity and celiac disease. So I would totally run the Wheat Zoomer test because, as I said, I didn't know it was so reactive to wheat, not just gluten, but any wheat. And so we go over what wheat is in sauces, it's in packaged food, it's in a lot of stuff. And then we want to look at cross-contaminants and molecular mimicry of other foods as I went over. So that's a Wheat Zoomer test. And that is very helpful to do. And then we've got other tests that we find in Food Zoomers to look at different parts of foods. And then the Dutch test I was talking about, that will do the sex hormones, your estradiol E2, E3, and E1, and which forms of, how your estrogen's metabolized. And then we look at your progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA, cortisol rhythm throughout the day. And I can look at that cortisol to melatonin rhythm. I said the estrogen metabolites, androgens, progesterone metabolites, your catabolites, and the breakdown to evaluate your detox pathways. Organic acids, we also get some of those on our Dutch test to find out nutrient deficiencies as glutathione, and some B vitamins, and our neurotransmitter metabolites, and oxidative stress. So another important one for athletes for sure. Another test I like to do, depending on people's budget, this one isn't as needed, but always interesting to correlate with all your intake forms. A nutritional therapy assessment is a micronutrient test from Genova Diagnostics, or Vibrant Wellness has one. But this test is super fascinating. Again, I don't look at treating what you're low or high in. It's looking at this info, but why is it low? Why is it high? So we always want to ask why and dig deeper and investigate and correlate all these results together. Vitamins, minerals, amino acids, your antioxidants, fatty acids, metabolites, carbohydrate metabolism is assessed, toxic elements, essential elements, and oxidative stress markers, as well as glutathione status. Now, super interesting to correlate this report with your DNA company reports. So it gives us more info. So I look at what the client needs based on their assessment. Those aren't the tests I give everybody. I do think everyone should look at their gut health, because that tells us a lot, and a Dutch test, and look at your blood chemistry panel. Now, we also want to get a blood chemistry panel with a full thyroid panel. So looking at your T3, T4, your free T3, free T4, TSH is usually what doctors only test. And then your antibodies, the TPO and the TG, as well as your reverse T3. So I like to look at that, and then I'll do a video of my recent blood chemistry panel and how I look at the report and put it in my results into functional lab ranges, not the doctor's ranges. Everyone's going to be normal and okay. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Your results are fine, because they're crap ranges. If you look at them, they're huge and they're not very helpful. So their normal ranges are based on the normal, average, sick, and healthy person, not optimal. So I would put your blood chemistry results into our functional ranges and look for clues. Is it higher? What does that mean? Is it lower than that range? What does that mean? Put that all into my little spreadsheet, and then I highlight patterns. All right, we see hypochlorhydria. All right, we see digestive dysfunction. Okay, we see low zinc. Okay, and then we see some liver congestion. All right, well, let's look at the liver markers. Okay, then we see some hypothyroidism clues, autoimmune, low B vitamins. So do we have some H. pylori going on? Do we have low thyroid because there's a lot of stress in the body? Is the Dutch test results showing us that we're hyper or hypoadrenic? So we have HPA axis dysfunction, which can correlate with low thyroid function, because a lot of stress in the body takes priority. So the thyroid is put on slow motion. Reverse T3 will be elevated. So we want to look at all this information together. And another fascinating part of blood chemistry and correlating it to your other lab results and your intake forms is cholesterol. My cholesterol was 237 last year, and then this test is 216. Functional range, we want at 170 to 200. Lower than 170 is not optimal. Lower is not better. The Goldilocks effect. We need cholesterol. It makes our hormones, steroid hormones. Above 200 is what I am. But that doesn't mean I need statin drugs. It could be a clue. And this is why we need to correlate 3 to 5 labs or so together. All right, cholesterol is high here. Hypothyroidism. What's my thyroid say? What's my liver saying? Chronic bacterial viral infections is H. pylori. What does my GI test say? Adrenal dysfunction. What does my Dutch test tell me? Biliary stasis, fatty liver. How's my liver gallbladder function? Insulin resistance. What's my insulin say? Poor metabolism, utilization of fats. What does my organic acids test say? Early stage hyperglycemia, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, multiple sclerosis. What are reasons that are driving my cholesterol up? We need to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at one lab and treat those numbers. Triglycerides. Mine were 64 last year, and they're 48 this year. That's low. That doesn't mean lower is better, because triglycerides are bad. Functional medicine, we want it 70 to 80. If my triglycerides are too low, that is a correlation to liver bile dysfunction, hyperthyroidism, or excess thyroid medication. Maybe you're taking thyroid meds, but your thyroid's still low, but triglycerides are higher. What is going on causing this to go down? Adrenal hyperfunction, autoimmune disorders. All right, we had a lot of red flags on my wheat zoomer. Look at your antibodies for your thyroid panel. Do you have Hashimoto's? So we need to really investigate and put all this info together, because it's driving me nuts that naturopaths, functional medicine doctors aren't always doing this as well. That's why Reed Davis created FDN practitioners, so we can investigate, spend hours on this where doctors don't have the time. Not that they're bad, not naturopaths are all bad. I'm just saying we need to work together, integrative medicine, root cause medicine, to help people thrive and get a personalized program for them right now where you are today to improve your future self. So, getting the full blood chemistry panel, you can do that on Own Your Own Labs, or look at Alta Labs, because the doctor, I can't get to teach or take everything. Full thyroid panel. Top 12 inflammatory lab markers: CRP, A1C, fasting insulin, serum ferritin, red blood cell width, RBW, homocysteine, ESR and platelets, LDH, NLR, liver enzymes, lipid panel, and vitamin D3. So make sure you're looking at all this together with a coach, and I'm glad to help you, but you can find someone that can really look at this whole picture. Get your iron tested. H. pylori, hypochlorhydria. Those are signs that you can see on your blood chemistry panel if you're looking at it the right lens. Okay, full thyroid panel doesn't mean you have low thyroid. Take some thyroid replacement. I see people all the time, including myself. My thyroid is still extremely low. My total T3 is 69. It's supposed to be 120 to 180. I've been taking thyroid support, but what is driving it low? So we need to look at, why is it low? Is there still a parasite causing a lot of stress? H. pylori. Look at a new GI test. So it's not just so simple. You need someone that's skilled to look and go down rabbit holes to put this all together. So hopefully that helps you get some information on how you can work on your off season, save some money up into your health investment account, and make some deposits in that each week. Stop getting coffee out as much, make it at home, and put some money aside so you can spend money on the labs. It might be $1,000, and get the coaching program. My gold package is monthly payment fee over 6 months. So it's affordable for you. And I make it affordable if you can't afford it. We make it 8 months, break it up, because I want you to be living your best self, to be thriving every day, not struggling. And even if you think you are doing all the right things with your current exercise program and fueling strategies, they might not be working the best for you. So let's take a break this off season, make it an off season. Work on improving the whole you from the inside out by investigating, collecting clues, and working with a practitioner that can put all the pieces of your puzzle together to create a protocol and a program to follow that is going to give you the desired results. So please give me a call or shoot me an email, and we can schedule a discovery call to learn more and figure out how you can live your best life in your second half of your life. So we don't need to blame the aging process and go, oh, I'm just getting older. I'm just going to get fat and slow and not sleep well anymore because it's part of what happens as I get older. That's a bunch of BS. It's not. It's what we need to do differently to get results. So how we fuel, how we train, how we create that morning and evening ritual, how we move throughout the day, what lab tests we need to do, because chronic stress impacts all of you. And all these labs can really help. So at least do a blood chemistry panel and a GI test to figure out where you are. But if you can, get a couple more tests done and we can do them all together. So get not just piecemeal, but look at all of the pieces of the puzzle together. All right, head to debbiepotts.net, read about these tests and how I work. And hopefully you want to be a fit and healthy athlete, aging athlete from the inside out. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the day and make sure you're getting up every hour and moving. Hey, my fellow aging endurance athletes, just a reminder, if you like what you listened to today, make sure to share this episode with your community. Head to debbiepotts.net to set up a free discovery call to learn more about my personalized coaching programs, especially if you are on a mission as myself to improve the aging process and start training to be my best self when I am 80, 90 years old. So I am on a mission to live my best life and be my best self the second half of my life. So if you're on the same mission as me, head over to my website and YouTube channel to learn more ways to improve the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at debbiepotts.net. You can help us continue and grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and see you next time.